Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again doing what I do, walking along in beautiful locations such as this, giving you my thoughts and opinions on things that are happening in the world in the public consciousness. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, 1,317 I think there are of you today. Welcome back, or welcome one and all. It's a pleasure for me to have you here to join me for this walk, so thank you. So today I'm entitling this video Death by 1,000 Cuts. Now, as we move through this, I wanted to do this video because I don't know if you know, if you've been here for any particular time, you'll know that I'm a chef. It's my job. It's not who I am, it's what I do. I've been doing it for 35 years now. It's a long time, yes. I'm an old man. And I notice from where I am, things are impacting my industry here in the UK. So I'll just straighten this up a bit. Things are impacting in my industry here in the UK, and I think this is just the first step in a larger picture that I'm going to try and bring into focus for you today and explain why I'm concerned about the economy, not just here in the UK but everywhere. And I'll run through it and I'll explain why as we go. So, death by 1,000 cuts. Now, we've been, for those of you watching, for those of you who have awoken to realise that things aren't always what they seem, that we've been lied to on a daily basis by the agencies that are supposed to tell us the truth or keep us informed, our governments, schools, medical, everything. We've been lied to our entire lives about everything. Nothing that we've been told is true, okay? And it's an ongoing shitstorm that we're walking through on a daily basis, and people are wondering what the hell is going on, but they don't want to acknowledge that there's people out there like me and like plenty of others that are talking about this stuff on a daily basis. So this video is to sort of open it up to the normies, or those who are recently awoken and are questioning the information that they come into contact with, and trying to piece it together and think, you know, what does it all mean? What the hell is happening in the world? Because it doesn't make any sense. Well, it does if you look beyond what you're being told. Okay, so there's a few different points I want to touch on today, but I'll start with the most obvious that's happening here in the UK on the 1st of April. April Fools! It's not just here, it's everywhere, okay? Now, on the 1st of April here in the UK, the minimum wage per hour for a person with no skills, with, you know, just walking into whatever job, is £12.50, I think it's going to be on the 1st of April. It's going up £1 an hour, okay? Oh, but that's wonderful, I hear you say, Chris. All those poor, underprivileged people who are not earning enough to live in our society where it costs, the cost of living crisis, okay? Cost of living crisis. So it's wonderful, I hear people say, it's about time they put up the minimum wage, that so all those people can now afford to do things. But is that really a good thing? Really? And I'm going to explain why it's not. It's actually a bad thing, and it's actually a sign that things are not great, and we're heading for something that's not going to benefit anybody. And I don't care who you are, I don't care how wealthy you are, I don't care how prepared you think you are, you're not prepared, okay? Now, why is it not good that the minimum wage is going up by £1 an hour? Well, let's just make it £50 an hour. Why not? Let's make it £50 an hour for the average pleb who's going to walk on off the street with zero skills to get paid £12.50 an hour. Okay? Fuck. I have to explain this. I can't believe I have to explain it. But for those people out there who don't understand how the economy works, I'm going to explain this to you, okay? Now, bear in mind, I'm not an economist, not a financial advisor, didn't even finish high school, okay? So by all reasoning, I'm as thick as pig shit, and I can't have an opinion, okay? So I want you to know that before we even start, because we're all told that the only place you can get an education is in school. Okay, now we're on the same page. Let's get started. Velocity of money, it's called. The velocity of money, I spoke about this when I did my interview with Vince Taglavia. He's got his own channel, Rise and Grind with Vince. He doesn't use thing every day. I don't have that kind of dedication. I don't have that kind of time, and it's not my job. I'm not doing this for a job. There's people out there that are doing this for a job and they do it every day. I can't do that because I've got a young family support, and my training, my knowledge, my skill set is in cooking. That's where I spend most of my time. I come out here to do this. It's not for money. I'm not looking for for praise. I'm not looking for anything. All I'm doing is just trying to share information, because I feel that the more I share information and help people to understand things better, then we all benefit. Okay, so this isn't about being selfish. It's not about spreading misinformation. It's about me giving you my thoughts and opinions. I'm trying to explain things, the broader picture, down to a way that can be easily digestible and understandable to the average person. Okay? Now, if you're going to start paying more money for people with zero skills, but it gets more people into the workforce, which creates more tax, right? Okay? That's what we're told. It's just, oh God, it just annoys me. I have to explain this. So, if you have to pay people, like if you're a business owner, okay, let's just say you've got a small cafe, you employ some youngsters or some people without any real skills, they're just coming out of school or whatever, so you want to give them an opportunity to get started in the world, right? Of course, why wouldn't you? And young labour is cheaper because, while they're young and they've got no skills, you can give them some skills, they get to do some work experience, and everyone wins, okay? Now, here's the issue. The more money you have to pay out in wages, the less profit you have. So people going to think about opening a business, one of the major considerations nowadays is, how much am I going to have to pay in wages to staff this joint to make it work? Okay? Now, if you've got your staff and it's all going up, everyone's going up by £1 an hour, what's that going to do to your bottom line? Okay? Now, that doesn't just apply to little cafes, that applies to massive corporations as well, who employ thousands of people who are going to have to put everyone's wages up again. Now, this presents multiple problems. One of the problems is that in order to facilitate paying out extra money out of your pocket to your staff, either the prices have to go up, which means inflation. After the government, the UK government's like, don't be, you workers out there, don't be asking for more money for a pay rise because, well, that's going to cause inflation. It's not all the money we printed. It's not all the money we printed. That's not the inflation, Chris. You don't understand. God. So, the prices of we'll keep it in restaurant terms because that's where it's easiest for me to explain it, because everywhere is going to be affected. I mean, every single sector on the planet, business-wise, is going to be affected by these kind of things, okay? So let's just say in a restaurant, you have your menu, you now have to put the prices up on your menu to accommodate paying extra money out. Now, this is, bear in mind that the drivers who deliver the goods to the restaurant are going to be paid extra as well. Bear in mind that the people picking the vegetables are going to be paid extra as well. Bear in mind that every single pair of hands that food or that product that comes into a restaurant to be sold has to go through everyone's hands, which means all those people are going to touch it, which means the prices of everything is going to go up because the businesses have to absorb the cost of paying extra money out in wages. You with me? Okay. So, you know, we've heard about this CPI, or Consumer Price Index. Have you heard about this? CPI. Now, the CPI is made up of a basket of goods. A basket of goods. Now, the issue is, if the basket always stayed the same, then the data would actually mean something. But, you know, like I've spoken about many, many times, it's so easy to manipulate statistics, because there was even Bill Gates, that guy, I mean, honestly, that guy. Bill Gates, he was doing an interview and had he had a stack of books on his desk to make it look smart, because he's uneducated as well, believe it or not, no university degree, He's as thick as pig shit. He never invented anything. He didn't write the code for Microsoft. He bought it. IBM's code. Trust me, the guy's nothing. But yet went, oh yes, I'm going to pop those things into everybody and make billions of dollars out of it. Anyway, Bill Gates was doing an interview on his desk. One of the books on his desk was Using Statistics to Lie. There's a book. Go and look for it. You can see it. Statistical data is so easy to manipulate. Well, as we saw in the past 4 years, right? Everyone's dying of COVID. Okay. No one died of heart attacks or heart disease or asthma or pneumonia or flu or anything else. Car accidents. Yeah, had a car crash. Oh, yeah. Did you have a runny nose? Yeah, that was COVID. COVID death. Yeah. So statistics are easy to manipulate. Okay, so the CPI is no different. So it's not called the CPI, it's called the CP lie because they're lying about it. So what happens is they have a basket of goods and they say, you see the inflation, the CPI index, which shows that the basket of goods, and if let's just say that steak has gone up like 30%, 40%, then they take the steak out of the basket and they put something else in there where the inflation hasn't hit yet. Okay? They're lying. They're manipulating the data and lying to you. Okay? Now, okay. So a restaurant has to put up the prices of the things on the menu to cover the costs of the things that are coming into the restaurant to sell. Okay? Now, the people who are coming into the restaurant to dine, to have a drink or whatever, they now have to pay a higher price, which means they've got to go back to their boss and ask for a pay rise as well, otherwise they can't live. But what happens in an economy, we'll go back a step, okay? So I need to explain the velocity of money first. I briefly touched on it when I did the interview with Vince, which I talked about earlier. Okay, so the velocity of money is, I get paid, I go to the shop and I buy some goods, the people at the shop get paid, they go to the hairdresser, they go to somewhere else, and the money moves from place to place to place to place to place, okay? That's velocity of money. Now, when people are strapped for cash, so let's just say you're working all the time, you're only just barely paying your bills and putting some food on the table, keep a roof over your head, cost of living, right? When you get to that position where you're really strapped, you know, because everything is going up, your mortgage costs, like my mortgage in Australia has gone up another $100 a month, and my mortgage is tiny. And it's, I mean, it's ridiculous how much it's gone up. So $400, which is 60% in the last 3 years, it's gone up. 60%, the cost of paying my mortgage. Okay, now that's one cut. When I talk about death by 1,000 cuts, it's everything. Everywhere you go, everything you do. Petrol's up more expensive, or fuel, or whatever you call it, gas if you're in America, you know. The cost of everything is going up. So everything is another cut on you, just to let you bleed out a little bit more, you know. So if people are strapped for cash and they're a bit short, they're not going to go out to restaurants. Now in the UK, I'm going to pluck a statistic out of the sky here because I'm not positive on the statistic, but you can go and fact check it if you like. It's somewhere in the region of about 70% of this country is in the hospitality industry. Okay, in one way or another, whether it's promotions, whether it's restaurants, cafes, bars, pubs, nightclubs, hospitality industry, okay? 70% of this nation, the UK, is in hospitality, right? But 80% of the revenue of this country, 80% of the money, comes from the City of London, which is the equivalent of Wall Street, but in London. The City of London, which isn't in London, it's a separate state unto itself, much like Washington, much like Vatican City. 3 city-states in the world: City of London, Washington, and the Vatican. 3 city-states that are not in and of that city that they're in. So Rome is Vatican. Rome is the main city. Vatican City is the city inside the city, but it's a city-state and it's separate from Rome. City of London is inside the City of London. Is inside the London City, completely separate again. Has its own police force and everything. Okay. Then Washington is in Washington State, obviously, but it's a city-state unto itself. You with me? So 80% of the revenue for this country comes through the banking or the financial sector, which is in the UK. Oh, while I'm on this as well, there was a video I posted in my Telegram. There was an interview, 2 guys. There was one's defending the banking industry in the UK, and the other one was giving reasons why we need to do away with the financial industry in the UK. I posted it on Telegram. I'll repost it again because it's a must watch. It is an incredible interview. The guy from the banks, just at the end of the thing, just goes, oh, I never realised. He was involved in the UK financial industry for like 35 years, and he defended it all his life. And then when he did this interview, and this guy just lays it out that everything is fraud. The whole financial industry is fraud. It's all based on nothing. It's all fraudulent, okay? So this guy lays it out, and the guy from the banks is just, couldn't believe it, absolutely blown away. Great interview, go and watch it. But this is the thing, is we're tied into this system where every other industry in this country is being destroyed, and it's deliberate. It's deliberate. Now, the more you raise wages, the more inflation goes up. Now, if we are going to be paying more for a base rate per hour, all the supermarkets are going to have to charge more for all the ingredients are on the shelves, because you have to have people stack them on the shelves, and the people at the checkouts and blah, blah, blah. And they're always looking for ways to save money, which is why you have to go on self-checkout. Boop, boop, go to the self-checkout in the supermarket. But, they got a bit funny last time I was in the supermarket, because I tried to go into the staff area to go to the toilet. And they said, but you're not staff here. And I'm like, but you just made me check out myself. Surely I'm staff here, right? No? So everything, the price of everything is going to go up, because businesses now have to pay out more for wages. Now, how does that impact you personally? I mean, you go, well, I'm not in the hospitality industry. I don't care, Chris. But it affects you. It affects everybody, because the price of everything is going to go up. Now, even if we say, okay, great, we're all getting paid extra money. Like I'm a contractor. I work for myself, but I contract as a chef to other businesses. I do work for other businesses. So my contract rate is that. Now, if I put my contract rate up, what's the chances of me getting more hours? They're going to cut hours down. So businesses are going to find a way to do the job with less money going out, with less people. So it's like, oh yes, I'm getting paid an extra £1 an hour, but then you're going to lose hours, because the businesses are going to go, well, we can't afford to pay that out. So we're just going to have to reduce the amount of staff, offer less service. Everyone's going to have to work harder, and then you're not going to get so many hours. So the people who are, yay, we're just going to pay rise for all the people, are now going to go, oh God, now I'm losing hours. So I'm getting the same money, if not less, and everything's costing me more. You with me? So this idea, this concept of death by 1,000 cuts, because people have been talking about this Great Reset for a long time, or the Great Awakening, and they're both interlinked, the Great Awakening and the Great Reset. So the Great Reset is a plan from the World Economic Forum, for those of you who haven't been here for longer than sort of 10 seconds, where they want to get rid of the current system and get rid of it and go into a completely digital system that they control, running on Ethereum, which is what they wanted, which is, JP Morgan and China, okay? They funded it. They built it. Oh, but Chris, you just don't understand, it's Web3. Fuck off. I still see people shelling everywhere. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin, Ethereum. The question I keep on putting to people is, do you trust the news? Do you trust the mainstream media? Do you trust them? No? But they're shilling Bitcoin and Ethereum on all the mainstream media. All the biggest banks and financial institutions in the world, all they're talking about is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't trust them, okay? One thing they're not talking about, and I hear people say, oh, that's no good, Chris, it's just garbage, and I've heard lots of rumours about it, Chris, and it's not real. See, XRP isn't replacing Swift. I mean, honestly, it's just so little understanding of how things work. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of something else, okay, today. Swift is the company that controls how value moves through the banking industry around the world at the moment, okay? Now, if you go against SWIFT, like Iran, Russia, China, blah, 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 they won't let you use their system, okay? So it's controlled by the biggest banks in the world, control the flow of money. And if they decide that you're not in then you're not in. What do you think is going to happen if they have it their way and it's all digital? Oh, sorry. Your social credit score doesn't allow you to spend any money today on food or getting around on public transport. So you're going to be housebound, which means you will lose your job, and you're not going to get paid anyway because, well, there's not enough hours going because the businesses are closing down. And people who are looking to start new businesses, that's got to be a consideration before you start your business. How much is these wages going to cost me? Because now the government is telling me how I have to run my business. Oh, so you're going to pay those people more. Why? Oh, because we fucked up the economy, so you have to pay for it. Now, at the moment, everyone's pointing the finger at America and saying, look, they're 34 trillion in debt. 34 trillion in debt. Debt to who? Debt to who? Is that central banks? The ones who created the money from nothing? From nothing. It's all fraud, remember? Backed by nothing. Central banks created it. Now, here's a scenario. Complete conjecture, hypothetical, and I'm plucking this out of the sky based on what I've seen. Now, I'm not telling you this is the truth. I'm telling you this is an opinion. This is a thought. This is something I've seen. And I'm intrigued as to whether this is going to play a part. Okay, you ready? Now, SWIFT, biggest banks in the world, control this movement of money or value through the world at the moment. Okay. Now, because the banks and countries don't trust each other, they have these pools of money called Nostro-Vostro accounts. Nostro-Vostro accounts, right? So these Nostro-Vostro accounts are holding vast amounts of money in different denominations to facilitate the movement of value through the world. Okay. So if I want to send some money from here to Australia, I go to my bank and I say I want to send £1,000 from here to Australia. They take the £1,000 from my account. They put it into the pounds pile in the Nostro-Vostro accounts, okay? And then a few days later, they do the calculation of how much that's worth in Australian dollars. They take it out of there, the equivalent, which would be about $1,200, $1,300, and they deposit it on the other end into an Australian account, okay? Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? I think you're going to like this. How can America possibly pay off a $34 trillion debt and move forward? Because why does it matter, Chris? Why does it matter, Chris? Why does it matter? This is the question that keeps on coming. Why do you focus so much on America? America has the world reserve currency. The American dollar is the world reserve currency. All other currencies are pegged to the US dollar. That before 1971, August 14th, don't quote me on the date, but I'm pretty sure that's right. The American dollar was backed by gold. Nixon took it off because they didn't have the gold. Okay, and they just wanted to print money into infinity and beyond. So, America's 34 trillion in debt. How are they going to pay it? How are they going to square with a central bank before they get rid of the central bank? Did I just say they're going to get rid of the central bank? Oh, sorry. Speaking out of turn. So how do you get rid of all that debt? Now, I mentioned these Nostro-Vostro accounts. Now, let's just say, for instance, that we're going to money's going to be digital. Okay, it's getting digitized. We're still going to have cash for a little while, but we're going to go to digitized money. We're going to have a digital pound. We're going to have a digital American dollar. We're going to have a digital Australian dollar. We're going to have a digital yuan. We're going to have a digital money. Okay, now there's lots of positives for that. I'm not going to go into all that again today. We've been through that plenty. But once the money goes digital, then, because I said countries don't trust each other, right? They don't. So you have to have a currency or a group of currencies in between that are bridge assets between a digital pound and the digital Australian dollar, or the digital pound, the digital American dollar, or the Thai baht, or the Indian rupee, or whatever. Whatever currency, if they're digital, you have to have an intermediary currency between the two to be able to swap from one to another. Okay? Now, what was XRP built to do? Oh, wait. To be a bridge asset. So you could, if you want to view XRP, not just XRP, there's a few of them, but Okay, is China going to trust American created coin? Probably not. So what's China going to do? Maybe they're going to have their own intermediary currency, intermediary currency to be able to trade backwards forwards with other countries. Okay, so maybe that's Tron. Maybe. Guessing, okay? XRP was designed to be a bridge asset between different currencies, and it's been trialed all around the world. Don't believe me? Go and look for yourself. Go to the Bank of England's website. Go to the Swiss, what's it called? BIS, Bank of International Settlements. Go to their website. Oh, but Chris, you're talking about the banks again. Yes, because that's where the money is. Oh, we're just going to get rid of money, Chris. We're going to get rid of money. We're going to use Dogecoin. Honestly. Or Shiba Inu. Oh. We're going to get rid of cash and we're just going to price everything in Satoshis, Chris. Not going to happen. It will never happen. If you think that's going to happen, you're dreaming and you're probably in the wrong place listening to this, okay? So, XRP was designed to be a bridge asset. So if you get a digital pound, digital American dollar, digital Australian, all these digital currency versions of our currencies, the bridge asset in between, which means you don't have, it's trustless. They've been testing this for years and years and years, for 11 years now. So if you get a trustless system where you don't have to have massive pools of money locked up to be able to move value around the world, do you need those Nostro-Vostro accounts? No. So, how much is in the Nostro-Vostro accounts, I hear you asking, Chris? Maybe 34 trillion? Maybe a bit more. So, we are, as I say, rampant speculation. I'm a crazy person, remember that. Remember, talk about flat earth. And if you talk about that, if you question anything, you're crazy. So as long as we're all on the same page and you recognize that I'm a crazy person, we'll be fine, okay? Now, as far as we're concerned, the plebs down, you know, they're being stepped on as we currently speak. Everything that's happening to you now is designed to push you to the point where you can't handle it any longer, like the lobster. I've told the story so many times. If you haven't heard the lobster story, go back and listen to another. But you're getting pushed to make a decision about the way that you want to live, right? The world is changing, and change is difficult. I'm a 52-year-old man. You know, for me, I have things the way I like them. I do things the way I like them. I'm a creature of habit, as probably most of us are. I embrace change, but I don't like it. Does that make sense? You know, I recognize that things have to change, especially things that cause me pain or cause me anguish or suffering or, you know, cause me to have an emotional reaction that isn't positive. I have to understand that the world is changing right in front of me, and I have to be aware enough of those changes to make changes in my own life so that not only can I not be too hurt by the changes that other people are making, but I can actually thrive in the environment that's being created for change. You with me? Okay, so knowing that we're going to a digital economy, what have I done? I've educated myself about digital economy, right? Knowing that the things are going to get much, much harder. The governments and financial institutions, they want you to adopt what they call a central bank digital currency, okay, which will be programmable and controllable by the central bank of your country, which is different from a digital pound or a digital dollar. Central bank digital currency is controlled money that they can use in the event of things collapsing. They can go, don't worry, we'll give you a universal basic income of $2,000 or $3,000 a month or whatever it is as your top up, so you can live in the economy as it's deteriorating to the point where it just all falls apart and you start to get cannibal gangs eating each other on the street, like in Haiti. But didn't Haiti get fixed? I'm sure the Clinton Foundation collected billions and billions and billions of dollars to help the victims of Haiti after the earthquake. They rebuilt the whole island, right? No. Where did all that money go? Ooh, into someone's pocket, maybe? Now, we're being corralled into this. What they want is the central bank digital currency that they can control us all with. So it's like, if you take away people's ability to be able to feed themselves, clothe themselves, house themselves by 1,000 cuts, little cut here, little cut there, we're going to put the minimum wage up by £1 an hour, which means all the prices have to rise. Then, there's trouble in the Middle East. Petrol prices are going to go up. There's trouble over in Ukraine. And of course, Ukraine grows everything we eat everywhere around the world. I mean, the entire world is fed by Ukraine, apparently. So the price of food's going to have to go up. And then, then it'll be, Russia hacked the election, or, whatever it's going to be. And it's going to be constant from here out, that we're going to be constantly bombarded with messages of, well, this is why this is happening. That's not our fault there's inflation. It's all you people paying more money that the government's telling us that we have to, right? So we're constantly going to be brought into a state where everything is going to cost more money out of your pocket, to the point where you can't sustain yourself anymore, and then they've got you. Then you're going to be trapped in a system that you can't control, that you can't get out of, that is controlled by megalomaniacs and psychopaths, to impoverish you, so that you will beg for their solution. We've spoken about this before as well. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. Create the problem, people react. Don't worry, we've got the solution, which is the central bank digital currency. Have this for free. It's free. Just like those things that they stuck in you. It's free. What do you got to worry about? It's free and it's safe and effective. So, as we move through this period of financial decay, you're going to have a lot more businesses going bankrupt because they can't afford to pay the kind of money that has to be paid to people with zero skills. So you're going to see more and more businesses close down, which means you've got less and less choice, which means it is a centralization of power. So you have these massive mega corporations that pay no tax, by the way, massive corporations that pay no tax and employ no people, because it's all being robots and mechanized, so that don't have to have people, except maybe just service the machinery that keeps on breaking down. But I'm sure it'll be fine. People say to me all the time, "Oh, Chris, you're going to be replaced by a robot," and I'm like, "Okay, what do you do again?" "Oh, you're a lawyer, right? Yeah, you're never going to be replaced by AI. You're perfectly safe." Technology will change the face of this world that we live in. And we have to adapt and change and overcome, because otherwise we're going to be caught in a system that benefits no one except the people who are running the system. So, when I started doing these videos, I wanted to come out and give you an overview of things that are happening, what I see, how I see things, and why I see them that way. But then, I want to also give you the other side of the coin, which is that there is hope. And we have to hold on to hope. And, hope is worthless, I'm told, Hope gives you an opportunity to see what's in front of you, and then go and find ways that you can mitigate what is happening. So how do you get around this? I mean, honestly, it is, if you're cash strapped already, how do you get out of the situation you're in to be able to invest into something new? This is what I hear all the time. "Oh, it must be nice for you, Chris, to have all this money to invest." And I'm like, you know how much I work? I work like 6-7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. When I was in London, it was even more, 100 hours minimum a week. I earned a lot of money down there, but I was never home. I didn't have time with my wife and my family. I was always at work. So if you're cash strapped already, and you are, now things are getting worse, and they are every day, the price of food, the price of fuel, all those kind of things. How do you mitigate that in the face of what's going on? Okay, I'll tell you what I'm doing, and then you have to adapt these kind of things into your own life, what you can do and what you can't do, and how you can get around it the best way you can get around in your situation. Okay, you ready? Price of food's going up. Grow some. Not really, it's not rocket science. Grow some food. No, but I live in a flat, Chris. You got a windowsill? Yeah, great. You can grow some microgreens. Lots of nutrients in microgreens. You know, the little sprouts. Lots of nutrients, and you can grow them in your house anywhere. I don't care how big your place. You can be living in a cardboard box and grow some microgreens, and they're not expensive. Well, not at the moment. The price will probably go up. Grow some food. If you've got a bit of land, your backyard, I'll be doing some videos in the next few weeks and months about what I'm doing in my backyard. I've got chickens already because I foresaw what was coming even before they started shutting down all the egg farms because of bird flu or whatever it is. Got chickens that give me eggs every day. I have eggs every morning for breakfast. Oh, but eggs are bad for cholesterol. Nonsense. Grow some food is the first one. Oh, but fuel's expensive. Get a bike. Ride a bike. Walk. Like I say, this isn't rocket science. This is this is sort of basic stuff. You know, like I say, you can adapt it to your own life. Oh, but I can't ride my bike into work because I wear a suit to work all day. Okay, well, you don't have showers at your work. Anyway, ride a bike. Go for a walk. Whatever. Okay? Mortgage going up. Tough one. Tough one. How big's your mortgage? Could you, I was living in London. I had a very reasonably priced house for London standards. And, you know, my mortgage costs were reasonable. I could live with that. If you're paying too much on your mortgage, perhaps, might be worthwhile getting rid of your house while you still can get a decent price for it, buying something out in the country or a smaller place that you can afford. You don't have to impress the next door neighbours. Look at my grand property. Look at the size of my house. It's beautiful. I've got 4 swimming pools and 16 tennis courts. Look how good I am. Look at my car in the driveway. Look how beautiful and new it is with a loan on it, you know. You got to reduce your monthly outgoings. So if your mortgage is costing you too much money, sell the house, buy something smaller, move to the country where you can get a lot more for your money and you can grow some food. Winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen style. You know, when we go through these periods of economic turmoil, be a student of history, okay? Go back and see how things were handled in the past and who came out of it with more than they went into it with. And what did they do? What was the strategy that they used to be able to win through an economic downturn? One of those strategies is what all the most countries in the world are doing, buying gold, vast amounts of gold. Gold will be tokenized, okay? Gold's going to be tokenized, and those tokens will be used throughout the world to back currencies with. Okay, it's coming. Gold and silver. I spoke about this in my interview with Vince as well. Silver comes out of the ground. 7 ounces to every 1 ounce of gold, but the price is nowhere near 7 to 1 with the gold price. The gold price is all-time high. Silver, half the price of its all-time high, which was back in the 80s. Like I say, not a financial advisor. You get to choose what you think is worthwhile. But knowing that we're going from the current system we have, which is backed by nothing, it's purely fiat, which is by decree, to a commodity-backed currency model, digital transformation into a digital economy. If you know that, then you need to study what coins are going to be used in this digital transformation. Do I think Bitcoin will be part of it? Probably because all the big players, they own it. Oh, but it's decentralized, Chris. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You owning half of one and me owning 3 Satoshis and that guy over there owning a quarter of a Bitcoin. Yeah, we own all of it. No, you don't. The banking, financial markets own it all, you know. So Bitcoin will probably be around as a collectible because You know, a lot of wealthy people own it, and it's like one of those things. It's like art. You know, what's art worth? Well, for a few strokes of paint on a canvas, a lot of the art industry is purely what do they call it? Money laundering. You know, people paying for things. You know, that's like Hunter Biden's art. It's just money laundering. You know, that's all it is. But art and fine art is a massive market because wealthy people buy it because it's a piece of history. Bitcoin will probably go down as a piece of history as well because it was the first of its kind to introduce a new architecture in how value moves through the internet. Okay, that's not to say it's worthwhile anymore. That's not to say it has any real use case because it's slow and expensive to use. But you know, the whole reason I'm doing this is to try and bring some understanding of what we're going through and come up with a way that we can mitigate it. Now, everyone has their own circumstances. Everyone has to make their own decisions about what's best for them. But if you can't see, and I know there's a lot of you out there that watch my videos, and I love you all to pieces. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And you don't get it, or you don't want to get it, or it's like, oh, it's too hard, it's in a too hard basket, and I get that as well. But the problem is we can deny it and cover our eyes and say it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. And we can walk away from it and cover our eyes and our ears and, you know, and our mouth and say, well, it doesn't affect me, but it does. So it's worthwhile coming to grips with it now and learning how you can utilize the technology to your advantage. You know, there's a new thing that's coming. You know, I talk about XRP a lot because by far it's my biggest holding. I'm not shilling it to you. I'm not telling you should own it, but I've been in it for a long time. I've been holding it for 6 years and I know what I own. There's a new thing that's coming onto the XRP blockchain in end of March, I think 28th, something like that, called the automatic market maker. Now, if you own XRP, you can essentially lock your XRP up, which increases liquidity on the ledger. Hard to describe how that works, but it's, if you want to understand it, go and watch a video of David Schwartz explaining it to you, who's the Chief Technology Officer at Ripple, explain how it all works and what it does. But you can lock up your XRP to create liquidity on the XRP ledger, okay? By locking your coins and that liquidity being able to be moved through the blockchain or the ledger, then you get paid for supporting the ledger by locking up your coins. So it's like getting paid interest on your bank account for holding money. How long has it been since you've had interest on your bank account? Even though they're charging more interest at the banks, when you deposit your money in there, they're charging interest to the people who want to borrow it from them, but they're not really lending your money, it's just all a con, but they're charging more interest to the people who want to borrow from them, but they're not giving you any of that interest into your account for having your money in the account in the first place. And the reason is because it's not real. They just create the money out of nothing. Okay, that's what it really is. But with this new thing that's coming on the XRP blockchain, it means that you'll be paid interest essentially on staking. Well, it's not really staking, but you're becoming part of the automatic market maker, where you facilitate transactions going through in the world by locking up your coins. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If I'm holding them anyway and I'm going to get paid interest on them, why wouldn't I do that? There's another coin I own, Tron. Stake those Tron and you get paid interest on those. It's staking rewards, you know. You know what I mean? It's these kind of things where they do it, they call it multiple streams of income. But if you have a stream of income where you don't have to do anything for it, it just happens anyway. You know, people doing these things on Amazon. Oh yeah, I sell on Amazon. I've got an Etsy shop or whatever it is. And I don't have to do anything. I just have to click a few buttons and it's all done. You know, and everyone says, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire on the internet by doing this. I mean, yeah, there's some people that make lots of money out of it. Great, good luck. Go to it. You know, you want to dedicate your time to doing that, selling products on Amazon, then please be my guest. But you have to have multiple streams of income coming to you whether you get out of bed or not. And that kind of thing, if you can use your wealth, your assets, to be liquid and use assets that you're holding to earn you money, Makes sense to me. So, you know, I talk a lot about this digital economy, and I know it's probably boring to some of you, and I know that it's not but the thing is, it is such a massive part of what's going on in our world right now, this transition from the system we're currently in into this new system, that if you're not taking advantage of it, then you're going to be left behind. And eventually you're going to have to learn it anyway. You will. So, understand that there are opportunities out there for you to benefit. Not just get taken advantage of, and not just constantly having to pay out more money for your fuel and the food and everything else you have to get together with. But there's opportunities for you to offset that, and you have to see them. You have to take advantage of them. Now, I'm going to see the farmer today. We're just trying to sort out a time when he's available and I'm available. I do want to get this done, this interview with the farmer, talking about what's going on with farmers. There's a big farmers meeting here at the end of the month as well, down in London. All the farmers are going down there to protest. There's lots of things they're talking about, which is what I'll get to in the interview. And I'll be talking with Vince over on his channel at some point in the future. We're going to be discussing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm also going to have Robert on from the Comic Book G-Spot. We're going to have a chat about what he does and how that relates to the bigger picture of what's happening in the world. And for those of you who don't know, this quote was taken from Robert's show when he had me over there. So I'm going to be trying to bring you information about sort of other things as well, but it all ties into the same thing, which is this great awakening, great reset kind of thing that's happening at the same time. Now, if I can help and assist people to understand things better, I will do it. You know, I've spoken with people about investing in cryptos and gold and silver, and you know, I'm happy to help where I can. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. You know, there's other people out there that have more expertise than I do. But just be aware that I'm happy to help if I can. Okay? And I'll guide you down the simplest route that I possibly can. But you have to make decisions about what you want to do first. What is beneficial for you based on your circumstances, and I'm happy to help. So just message me, you know, drop a message in the comment, drop a comment in the comments box, what you're thinking, or get onto Telegram and message me there. I mean, my email address is attached onto these videos as well. You can email me, and I'm happy to help. That's what I'm here for. Bear in mind, I am exceedingly busy. I can't even tell you how busy I am. It's crazy busy, you know, and just to add insult to injury, I'm going to have to head off to Australia soon to sort some stuff out there. So I'll probably do a couple of videos in Australia as well, just to show you guys around there, you know. But my life is insane, but I'm happy to help in any way I can to try and explain things to people or make it a bit easier to understand, or to help you to set things up. If you need help setting up a wallet, I mean, it's not hard. It really isn't. It's not hard. I can guide you through that kind of stuff. If you need help, I'm happy to help. That's what I'm here for. But bear in mind, I am busy, so it might not happen tomorrow or the next day. But you know, if you work with me, then we can sort out a time that we can work together. So I'll do that. I'm happy to help. Not asking for anything. No donations. No money. No nothing. I don't want anything. Your time is more than enough. So it's available to you. So don't say I didn't offer. That's the key. You know, I'm here to help. I'm not charging anything. I don't want anything from you. I'm just here to offer my time, my help, and my expertise as far as my expertise stretches in this department, because I'm by far no expert. I've had to do everything and learn everything myself and made a shitload of mistakes. So I can help you avoid those mistakes and avoid costly mistakes, because if you get it wrong, yeah, it's not great. Anyway, all that said, don't be a victim of what's going on, this death by 1,000 cuts. If you want to be a slave to the system, then keep letting them do what they're doing to you, and you will end up in a place where you can't escape, and you're locked into something that doesn't benefit you, and it enslaves you. So, take a breath. Don't stress. It'll all turn out fine if you've got your eyes open. Open your eyes, go out into the world, do good, Be good. You can change the world with the way that you think, the way that you act, what you're leaving behind, what you share with people, and the way that you interact with the world. So do that, we can make the world a better place. But most important of all, look after yourself, look after each other, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. Ciao for now.